We're going to begin this half hour with a happy ending to the search for 11-year-old Nadia Bloom, who had disappeared into an alligator-infested Florida swamp for 4 days. We're going to talk to the man who found her in just a moment. But first, NBC's Mark Potter has the extraordinary details. Mark, good morning to you.
And good morning to you, Meredith. Too often, missing children's cases don't end well, and people here had begun to fear that in Nadia Bloom's case. But then came a stunning 911 call, and everything changed. It happened early Tuesday. 11-year-old Nadia Bloom found alive. After days of difficult searching in dense woods and swamps, officials had begun to fear the worst. But then they got a dramatic 911 cell phone call from a densely wooded area they had not yet searched.
Got her. I got Nadia. Okay, I'm in the middle of the swamp. I can give you my GPS coordinates off of this blackberry. I just got to figure out how to get them again.
Sir, so you're in contact with her?
I'm holding her right now, yeah. She's okay. She's got bites all over her. She's got some scratches. She's very lucid. She has no major injuries, just exposure. I'm going to give her some liquids. I've got some stuff prepared for her. The Lord told me where to find her.
The caller was James King, a searcher from the Bloom family's church, who at dawn had ventured into the woods alone. The 911 operator asked to speak with Nadia.
Hi, this is Nadia, and I'm the girl who got lost.
Nadia, are you okay? You're not hurting anyway?
Yeah, hi, what's your name?
My name is Rich, Nadia. I'm one of the dispatchers for the police department. If you just stay with that man right where you are, we're going to have somebody come to you right now.
Word that Nadia had been rescued spread fast and electrified the community.
She's alive, she's here. We knew it all along.
I can't imagine what all the rescuers are feeling when you actually search for somebody for 5 days and you find them alive. It's fabulous.
Nadia, who has a mild form of autism, disappeared Friday afternoon near a wooded area close to home in Winter Springs, Florida. Her mother also calling 911.
I can't find her.
Okay, what's your name?
Tanya.
What's your last name, Tanya?
Bloom.
Fearing the girl had wandered off into alligator-infested swamps, police searched for days and nights, but to no avail. After James King found her, police confirmed that Nadia was barefoot, dehydrated, and suffering from mosquito bites, but very much alive.
She did make 2 comments to the officers when they got there. Glad you guys found me. Can't believe you rescued me.
As authorities struggled to carry Nadia out of the dense woods on a stretcher, her parents waited nervously to see her, her emotional father later hugging James King.
Things don't always turn out this way, and you're so blessed.
Doctors treating Nadia said, given all she'd been through, she actually was doing wonderfully.
She was smiling, her vitals were stable. She clearly has had the effects of being outside now for about 5 days.
For police and the entire community, Nadia's rescue was a huge relief. Now, Nadia is out of the hospital. Both she and James King were questioned by police. The police chief here says he is absolutely convinced that Mr. King is a hero. He also says that if he didn't believe in miracles before, he does now. Meredith?
I think we all do. Mark Potter, thank you very much. James King is the man who found Nadia Bloom. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What an incredible story. What a wonderful outcome. You were searching for Nadia with another group of people on Monday. Couldn't find her. Then you talked with, I believe it was her uncle who was leading that search effort, decided to go back at dawn on Tuesday morning by yourself and continue the search. Why?
I believe that God wanted me to. When the men said, well, we'll gather together tomorrow sometime and we'll come in from the other side on the 417, I prayed. My wife talked with me that night and reminded me, James, when we lose something and we pray in the Spirit, we always find it. And I said, you're right. So I went back in. As soon as the sun came up, I couldn't imagine leaving her out there until everybody else was able to get together. And so as soon as the sun came up, I went in, and the Lord led me directly to her.
Well, walk me through that a little bit. You were calling out her name every few minutes, right?
Well, it was about 2 hours into the swamp, and it was very rough.
Rough conditions.
Yeah, I was prepared. I've been in swamps, and I went in, and then the Lord told me to follow where the sunrise was. So I went directly east, as much as you can go direct in a swamp. And I would call Nadia, and then I'd be, praying and talking to the Lord, and the Lord would be directing me. And then one time I said, Nadia, and I heard, what? And so I said, I'm going that way. And it was probably about 40 yards later of, calling back and forth to make sure I went directly to her. And there she was, sitting on a log, looking up at me expectantly, like, okay, yeah, you're finally here.
And she recognized you.
She said she did.
Yeah.
And she's pretty direct and straightforward, so I'm sure she saw me from church.
What condition was she in, James, when you found her?
Amazingly good condition. She had bug bites from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet, and scratches. None of them were swollen and red as if there was infection. There was no fever. The bottoms of her feet were waterlogged. She didn't have her shoes anymore. Her demeanor and her attitude was fine. She was not panicked.
She was not panicked.
No, not at all. She apparently has a great faith, and her faith, the prayers of a lot of people, and the Lord's guidance led me directly to her.
And you brought some stuff with you to help you out as well. Besides the Lord's guidance, you had your BlackBerry with a GPS on it.
My BlackBerry, my Bible. I had water. I had some stuff prepared for Nadia because I believed that I was going to find her, and so I had some nutrition drink, a very small 8 ounce of that, a lot of water, trail mix.
You also had toilet paper. What was that for?
Well, going into the swamp, I thought that maybe I would leave markers so that I would be able to have a way back out. And I realized after going in, there was no way I was going to come back out that way. It was really bad, very dangerous. And I thought, no matter where I am, I'm not going back in this way. So I ended up keeping it. And then with the helicopter circling, and they were unable to locate me, I sat Nadia back down on the log, and I went over to the nearest opening in the canopy and covered the top of some bushes with the toilet paper so they could spot us.
Yeah, I got to ask you, the police chief, as Mark Parter pointed out in his piece, said he has no doubts that you are a hero, but they did question you, and there was some skepticism because it seems too good to be true. Do you understand why they questioned you?
Well, they're doing their job. They don't know who I am. Who's this guy? I wasn't a part of the official search party. I was in by myself. Nadia's missing for 4 days. I'm sure that they're investigating all kinds of things. So they did their job. They checked me out. They did a very professional job, and they made sure that things were as they seemed.
James, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. And let's bring in Nancy McBride, National Safety Director for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Nancy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Meredith.
I know that your group was also involved in this search for Nadia, so how are you feeling this morning?
I'm ecstatic. I've been doing this work for over 20 years, and this is such a wonderful outcome, especially in the state of Florida. You know, we've got a number of cases that are unresolved, so this is just outstanding.
What lesson can parents take from this?
I think there are a number of lessons. One is that what a brave little girl Nadia is. Everything goes out to her from me. I think she's wonderful. She stayed calm, which is great. And I think the message to parents is this is a great opportunity to sit down, really talk to your kids, really listen to your kids, and do some practicing, do some what-if scenarios. What if you were lost? What would you do? Things like that.
All right, Nancy McBride, great advice there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Meredith.
Happy outcome.